Hello there, and welcome back. And sorry for the missing week. I'm a one-man production company, so when other things get in the way, I just can't can't make a video. And as you know, I'm really back to the wall with materials. I don't have any sort of excess stock I could have put together and made a video. Anyway, I'm sure that you managed to live without seeing me for 1 week. And it was actually a good job in some ways that I wasn't trying to make a video, because shortly after the last video was wrapped up, I bit my tongue in the night really quite badly, and as a result, it was so painful I could barely speak. I was like, ah. So I wouldn't have been able to do this very easily for a start. Anyway, so onwards and upwards. So last week, I sort of did the steps in the back door, but there's a little bit more that I need to do on there. And while I could leave it, I feel that it'd be really quite satisfying in some ways to actually get it, done as possible. Although in some ways not so satisfying, because there isn't going to be that much of change. But to get something ticked off properly, so I'm going to see if my friend Mr. Trim will come around and give me a hand. Well, I've cut all the bits that I need to do the door trim, the door jambs as it were, and also trim the hatch area. But the problem is, it just keeps raining, and I really need to take the hatch off to do it, which is a bit of palaver because the tarp's on it and all that. So it's not even a case of opening it when it stops raining for a few minutes and closing it. I really need a sustained dry period, and I'm hoping tomorrow. It says the forecast has been pretty lousy, even when it's to date, even when it said it's not raining, it's ended up raining. But hopefully tomorrow will actually come true and we'll have a bit of dry weather. Well, the day of sunshine that was promised has cruelly been snatched away, and now we've just got down to 3 or 4 hours where it's not going to rain. However, I'll have to take it. So, finally get the hatch open and get this sorted out. So what I want to do is that word. What I want to do is put some trim on the top of this, is there between the gap. When I put it in, I tried to put a little gap, and as you can see, I've put some spray foam in. Just otherwise, there's no real insulation between the metal and the wood. And as we know, condensation will be back before we know it to turn this place into a waterfall if I'm not careful. Well, hopefully that can dry before that comes along and turns into some rain. Well, after a few coats of varnish, that is more or less, there's a couple of teeny things to do, is the rear door and steps finally finished. There's a bit of a boo-boo. I mean, originally I was going to paint all of this, but when I saw how nice the steps were, I thought, well, let's varnish it. Downside being there was a couple of gaps that I was going to fill and then paint. So I thought, well, I'll use some coloured filler, not realising that the filler would, isn't quite match to the colour. So we're going for an antiqued finish. Morning. Well, I've had my mini break, thank goodness. Not home, as you can see, because my hair's the same length. Anyway, so I'm back on in the boat, and I'm sick of this weather. I'm sure as anybody in Britain is sick of this weather as well. So I keep trying to convince myself that being here is better than being baked at 35 degrees in Europe, but I haven't quite convinced myself that's true yet. Anyway, I'm here in the rain like everybody else, so I just have to accept it. And next thing now is the next task I've decided I'm going to do is I'm finally going to make my bed, and I absolutely kid you not when I say this is very very timely, because last night my current air mast I had that sinking feeling, and it's done very well. The one that my current air bed was ordered on, I checked on Amazon, it was delivered on the 19th of April. So it's done 3 months, which I think is longer than most of them, and it's been great. But as always, they just... And I hadn't done anything, I hadn't dropped anything on it, I hadn't kicked it, hadn't been around with sharp tools. It just, at some point, they just decide, well, we've had enough, and we're like all of us. And we're just going to sink away. Anyway, so the bed is on its way. However, the new air mattress is also on its way, because it will take some time to get this up to an actual working bed. For a start, I'm only constructing the frame at the moment. I need to sort out a mattress as well in the coming weeks, and that will be along the way. So yeah, so I've finished my tea and now start thinking about cutting up lots of bits of wood. Well, before I go any further with the notions of making beds, the logic is irrefutable that it'd be a very good idea to get the walls in here that haven't been painted. So that's what I'm going to do. I've actually decided and I forgot to mention this last week, so the bulkhead wall and the 2 cupboard walls, although they're not perfect, I'm going to leave them in the sort of natural wood state, and to that extent my mother very kindly varnished them while she was here. But on the side walls and the ceiling they're going to be white like everything else. Right, well, as so often, it's taken much longer than I like to mask off the surfaces that I don't want painted. And there's not going to be any speeded up video, because I just can't get an angle that gets everything. So anyway, you've seen enough of me painting. And just like that, that's the first undercoat done. So that's the last of the ceilings painted, and the walls done too, and the lights put in. So that's another tick. So I'm trying a new mode of the Triton, as it were. Basically, you can sort of turn it upside down and have the table, the saw itself sliding rather than moving the wood around. And I thought this would be good because I find when you're doing these sort of long, narrow pieces, when you try and use the table saw, if they go slightly off, the perfect straight angle, they then get jammed into the blade and start making all manner of nasty noises and generally unsatisfactory results. So yeah, let's see how this works. I've also screwed all the pieces together, and the idea is if I do them all in one go, they should all be exactly the same length, which is, I'm cutting legs at the moment, and what you want is legs all the same length. Well, I don't know if anything better, but it's certainly less fraught than doing it on the table saw way. Right, well, after a day cutting up, let's see if I can work out how to make these into a semblance of a bed frame. Right, well that's the basic frame done, and obviously I'll be speeding this massively, but in real time it's early evening now, so anything else will be for another day. But actually, I have to say, it's come out better than I might anticipated. Not saying absolutely perfect, but it feels nice and solid, and yeah, should be good. Not sure when I'm going to sleep tonight though. Normally it's here. It's not quite ready. Evening. Well, I've spent the afternoon making some drawers and what I'd describe as a bin, and I mean a storage bin, not a rubbish bin. No video because the phone was running out of battery, and unless this is your first ever video watching me, you've seen plenty of videos of me zipping bits of wood on the table saw, so I'm sure you can live without seeing that. Anyway, hopefully put the runners on these and they will fit. Well, that's the doors finally done. I'd say it took a lot longer than expected. Not on video is the fact that I spent an awful lot of time fiddling around with the trying to get the guide rails. Although when I built this bed, I tried to make everything using a set square as 90 round as possible. It's just not perfect. And where it really comes out when you have these large drawers with the runners. And I did think about leaving it, but I wanted to try and get it as as good as I could. So I fiddled around with the guide rails for quite a while. Anyway, so yes, I thought that would didn't think that would take me all morning, but then it did, and that's the story of boat building for you. Anyway, it's quite after lunchtime now, so after some lunch, I will get through to next job, something to actually lie on. Oh yes, and as always, confessing to mistakes. And this is the downside of doing the speeded up videos, is I sort of know that I'm on camera, and so I'm not going to hang around for too long. And I measured the drill holes the wrong way, and so they're in the wrong place, so I had to re-drill them. And not the end of the world. I will find some, learning from the back doors, I will find some appropriately coloured filler and fill those in at a later date. Well, that was, what is it, about 6.5 minutes, speeded up 400 times. So, yeah, it's taken me from start to finish, that's taken me 4.5 days. And that includes the couple of hours at the start, literally scratching my head, wondering how I was going to turn the pieces of wood into a functioning bed. However, without wanting to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet, I have to confess I'm really pleased with that. I've trimmed down the bed slats since the video by a centimetre. I just thought they were a bit too close together to give adequate ventilation. However, apart from that, it's all gone to plan. So the bed is 120 centimetres wide and 2 metres long, which is plenty of room for one person. And just it's in standard British size. That's a very small double. However, what I've also done is this. If you he says, but that comes out by another 20 centimetres. So and it just cantilevers off. Hopefully that should be strong enough. I mean, I know I'm not. I'm pretty twiggy at the moment, but it should be. Hopefully it's fine. Anyway, that makes it 140 centimetres wide, and there'll be an extra bit of mattress at the back which you can tuck in the gap. And 140 centimetres is the width of a standard double bed. And I don't go any further because then I want the room still to be able to get down the side. You want to go to the bathroom or anything in the night. And then at the rear, four of these lift off, so you can get, I'll use this for, not regular used storage. And then finally, I've got my big cupboard, and this is on casters, so if I can easily pull it out and pull things in and out. And then I've got the two nice big deep drawers. And they're all made of 18mm ply on the sides and 25mm on the base, so they're really sturdy. And finally, if you're eagle-eyed, Mr. Trim's popped by, so everything has been trimmed off on the sides, which makes it look like cheap ply. Well, it makes it look like cheap ply with trim on, but anyway, it makes it look a lot better. And so all that needs to be done now is these need a varnish. Well, that's not going to be that'll be at some point in the near future, but certainly not today or tomorrow or the week after. So yeah, I will definitely be treating myself to a celebratory glass of wine or two tonight. I know I've just said it, but I'm so pleased that's got done. Well, I have to say, even though I'm not yet on a proper mattress and I'm still on a somewhat deflating airbed because, of course, Hermes is not delivering the new airbed, so it's still on to arrive. Anyway, despite being on a deflating air mattress, it is still, it feels a real, literal step up in the world. It's great to actually go to bed once, then go and sleep on the floor. So that's good. Anyway, it's been quite a long couple of weeks, if only a week and a half of actual work, but it's been good. I've got some progress made, but I have to say I'm quite tired now, so it is definitely I'm glad I'm going to bed. Anyway, thanks for watching, catch you soon, and good night.